listening to Let's Talk with Jason B. Coming from the greatest city on earth, Flint, Michigan. Broadcasting from the studios of FlintTalkRadio.com. And now your host, Jason B.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to Let's Talk with Jason B. I am your host, like he said, Jason B. What does the B stand for? Beautiful, of course. Jason Beautiful. That was a joke. Slide that sign in front of you, right in front of there, so they can see it. All right. Now you're probably wondering what that is. That is our number to call, 1-810-208-1854. That's right there. And you're thinking, what are we going to talk about today? It's going to be pretty obvious, guys. I want to talk about the hot button issue right now. Duck Dynasty, Phil Robertson, the thing that is blowing up on my Facebook feed. Is that everybody else's thing? You know, we're just squeezing it in. I thought, let's grab onto it, let's embrace it, and let's have some fun. So that's the game plan. I don't know if anybody has been interested in it. I don't know if anybody... First of all, before we get into this, I want to talk real quick about the ice storm of 2013. Now, can we put up those pictures on my Facebook? This is in Flint.
I have to go try it. I'd find it first.
Okay. They're right up there. But in Grand Blanc, it was not that bad, to be honest with you guys. But anyways, so he's gonna find John, my producer, gonna find some pictures, and we'll show you in a little bit. But Duck Dynasty, has everyone? Do they know what's going on about that? Have you paid attention to it? Do you know what's going on? Basically, what it is, in case you don't know, is that there is Phil Robertson, who is the Duck commander, is what they say, ended up talking, he said, and I'm going to quote here, a couple different things. And to be honest with you, now, I don't think he did a big deal. I think everybody's blowing it up. But I think that what he said was pretty legitimate there. But some people think otherwise. Let me see here. I'm trying to find it real quick. It's going to be pretty interesting. Anyways, he goes on to say things like homosexuality is wrong and this and that. And frankly, I agree. I'm just going to look it up real quick. Sorry about this, guys. Phil Robertson. I want to oh my gosh, that's interesting. Now, has anybody watched Duck Dynasty? I actually saw it the other day, and I kind of liked it. It was pretty good. It was funny too. But it's not bad. Here it is, and this is thanks to our good friends at Fox News. It goes on to say that, and I haven't read the actual article yet, just snippets of it. It goes on to say that he said, start with, and now this is Phil Robertson talking about the homosexuals. He goes, start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and those men. Then he goes on to paraphrase the book of Corinthians. It goes on to say, don't be deceived, neither the adulterers, the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, the greedy, the drunkards, the slanderers, the swindlers, they won't inherit the kingdom of God. Don't deceive yourself. It's not right. And He goes, I mean, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think this is ridiculous. I mean, here's the thing. A couple different things. You've got Phil Robertson, who is everybody who knows in the Hollywood. They know about what he said. They know his stance, his viewpoints, and this and that. And yet GQ has decided to lure him into a trap. They baited him. Don't kid yourself, America. They know what's going on, okay? They know that these things are happening. And I don't understand why. I mean, you know what he's going to say. He's going to say something about, homosexuality being wrong. And whether I agree with him or not is not the point. And a lot of people are talking about free speech. Free speech this, First Amendment that. Well, listen. Here's the thing, and call in if you want. It's right there, 810-208-1854. Let me know what you have to say about it, because there's always 2, 3, 4, a lot of different views, a lot of different perspectives to the arguments or the issues at hand. The thing is, I think Phil Robertson, who is employed by A&E, who does the interviews with A&E, he has certain views. And whatever, and I said this to somebody the other day, I said whatever he says off camera to his friends, to his neighbors, to whomever, that is his right. That is, that's what America is all about, to say whatever you want to say. And some people might agree with you, some people might not, but the thing is, I think that when you're doing GQ stuff, and you're doing these talk shows and these interviews and this and that there are certain you're putting out a product. Like when I'm doing this radio show, I'm putting out a product, and it's not just what I'm doing or what I'm saying. It's I have to present myself in a certain way, and I think Phil Robertson needs to do that too. He should have done that, and there's got to be that balance, between him believing his personal beliefs and then him also not stepping on the toes of A&E, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. But you don't want to back down, but you do want to not... I just don't think he could have done it differently. I do think GQ was baiting him for sure. I definitely think that. But do I think that A&E overreacted? Absolutely. I think it was ridiculous. And let me tell you, they said suspended. They basically mean fired, And a friend of mine said the other day, I'll show you. This is basically what they were talking about. Let me read it real quick. The Robertson family official statement. I don't know if any of you read this. I'll post it onto the Facebook page. Let's Talk with Jason B. What is it? www.facebook.com/Let's Talk with Jason B. That is my Facebook page. Check it out. I'll post this on here. It says, "We want to thank all of you for your This is the Robertson family. We want to thank all of you for your prayers and support. The family has spent much time in prayer since learning of A&E's decision, that is to fire Phil Robertson. We want you to know that the first and foremost, we are a family rooted in our faith in God and our belief that the Bible is His Word. While some of Phil's unfiltered comments to the reporter were coarse, his beliefs are grounded in the teachings of the Bible. Phil is a godly man who follows what the Bible says are the greatest commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. Phil would never incite nor would he encourage hate. We are disappointed that Phil has been placed on hiatus for expressing his faith, which is constitutionally protected right. We have had a successful working relationship with A&E, but as a family, we cannot imagine the show going forward without our patriarch at the helm. We are in discussion with A&E to see what that means for the future of Duck Dynasty. Again, thank you for your continued support of our family. And that was the official statement. And I think it is very admirable that they are sticking with the old man, that they are saying, well, if he goes, we go. If the ship sinks, we're going to go down with it. And I think that's very nice. Because, what does it say? The Fifth, I almost said the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth, the Fifth Amendment of the Fifth Commandment. The Fifth Commandment of the Ten Commandments says, honor thy mother and father. And I think it's very valuable that they are saying, well, we are sticking with him, and if he's not doing it, we're not doing it. And I think they got to stick with what they believe in, But here's the thing. A&E, I believe they can do, because they're the boss of the show or whatever, they can do whatever they want, if they want to fire the guy, they can fire the guy, but they are going to have some serious backlash. In fact, they are having serious backlash. I just read the other day that last night's viewership was down like 16.9% or something like that, and that's like thousands and thousands of viewers. But here's the bigger thing, folks. Here's the bigger thing that we got to focus on. It's the problem that A&E did. I mean, they had this thing where, it's amazing what A&E was letting these people do about prayer and stuff. I mean, they were letting these guys pray on the air. That's freaking amazing. That's great. That's great. I love to see that. But when you have the gay people come in, and GLAAD, which is the big thing. John, what does GLAAD stand for? Do you know?
I don't know what the acronym stands for. We can look it up.
Look it up and let me know. You've got your GLAAD people, and then you've got your NAACP people talking too, and all they do. Listen to this: homosexuals. Guess how many homosexuals there are? It is only 3.6% to 3.9% of America is gay, homosexual. That's it. You're looking at 10 to 14 million people out of a country of 300 million people. Why the heck are the gay people why are we, it boggles my mind why we're folding. There is no reason as a Christian that you should be folding your beliefs, that you should be like, in toleration we will. That's the thing. Tolerance. And I'll tell you this. Never mind, John. Forget it.
Okay, GLAAD is Gay and Lesbian Advocates and Defenders.
There you go.
It's New England's leading legal organization dedicated to ending discrimination amongst gays and lesbians, transgender.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, John. The thing is, now GLAAD is you have a little push, and everybody folds. You got to stand strong in your beliefs. You can't fold. You can't drop down like that, And and here's the thing, it's everybody's talking about tolerance. Well, that's the big word for the gay people. Oh, you have to be tolerant of what we believe and how our lifestyle is, and this and that. And listen, I looked it up. Tolerance. It says right here, tolerance. It is to allow the existence, occurrence, or practice of something that one does not necessarily like or agree with without interference. That's tolerance. Let me say that one more time. Tolerance. to allow the existence, occurrence, or practice of something that one does not necessarily like or agree with without interference. I'm very tolerant with gay people, homosexuals. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But guess what? I'm not interfering with it, okay?
You know what it seems to me is
Hold on. And the thing is, I'll tell you this. I don't want them. They need to be tolerant with me, with Christians. Don't interfere with my life. Don't interfere with, we've got to have, get married, and we've got to have the same equal rights, the civil liberties, okay? Civil liberties, there's a big difference between what went down in the 1950s and 60s and what is going on now. The gay people, the homosexuals, that is their choice. They chose to be like that. I don't care what you say. Oh, well, you know what? I was born this way or whatever. There's no scientific proof to say one way or another. I don't know if there is a homosexual gene or whatever in the body, but I don't think so, and maybe show me proof if there is. I challenge you to tell me that I'm wrong and show me proof. But as far as I'm concerned, it is my view that people choose to be gay, and it could start at a super young age. You could think for a lifetime you've been gay, but guess what? You haven't. You're not born gay. You're not born confused. And another thing, let me just say, not just tolerance. So I want the gay people, the homosexuals, to tolerate me and my lifestyle. Don't shove your gayness down my throat, I don't want that kind of stuff going on, okay? Here's another thing. Here's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Acceptance. I looked up the word acceptance because there's a big difference between tolerance and acceptance. I will tolerate your lifestyle. I won't interfere with it, but I will tolerate it. The whole meaning of toleration. Acceptance is to agree to take on, a duty or responsibility. It is to receive something offered with gladness or approval, or here's the big one. It is to regard as proper or usual or right. Let me say that again. Acceptance or accept is to regard as proper, usual, or right. It's to regard as true or believe in, and it is to understand as having a specific meaning. Okay, in regards to homosexuality, I do not believe it is proper. I definitely do not believe it is usual, and it is certainly not right, in my view. I think it is a distortion of truth, which is God's truth, and to have somebody say something different is just... It doesn't make any sense. To agree to, to regard as true. I just told you, I don't believe it's true. But that's just me, I also want to talk about, so that's a big difference between toleration and acceptance, okay? I will tolerate your lifestyle. I won't interfere with it. Don't interfere with mine, I'm not going to push the 10 Commandments, and I don't want you to push your civil liberties on me. But before, we do have a call, so let's go to the phone lines.
Justin,
you're on Let's Talk with Jason B. Hi, how are you today?
I'm great today, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking. So what do you want to talk about? Go on.
Well, I've been listening to your show for about the past 15 minutes, and you began speaking about tolerance and who's the guy at Duck Dynasty? What was his name again?
Phil Robertson.
Right. And you were remarking about his comments, and I wanted to touch up on the topic of tolerance when you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting that, as you pointed out, that in our society we there's been this movement of tolerance that you need to be tolerant of my ideas, whether you disagree with them or not, and everybody needs to be tolerant of what I think. And I feel like there needs to be some established foundation with this movement that where there's a lot of people who are victimized by this movement, where their beliefs are not tolerated, and they are distraught at how everybody is blaring, tolerate this, tolerate that, tolerate me, and then here's this person who isn't. Something that comes from the mindset of the tolerance movement is that there is a group of people who can't be tolerated, that it's their ideas and their beliefs are intolerable.
Mm-hmm.
Such as back in the civil rights movement. Let us suppose that during the civil rights movement, that instead of civil rights being the foundation of the argument for having African Americans be on the same political and social standing as white people, what if those who were racist were using the terms "be tolerant of us as we are trying to be tolerant of you," or kind of in that sense? And there has to be a line drawn of how far that tolerance extends. And I'm not saying that people like Phil Robertson shouldn't be tolerated, but I think it should be understood that the people who are against people like Phil Robertson view his ideas and his beliefs as intolerable ideas, that is where the line has to be drawn.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there is a good balance there. There's a line. There's always a line, no matter what. I think there's a right and there's wrong. There's black and there's white. There's very little gray in life, in my view. But I don't know if you agree with him or not, but we have to be. Did he say things? He could have used a little more tact. He could have said it a little nicer, because I'm not even going to get into the stuff that he really got into detail about, stuff. But the thing is, and you bring up some good points, that tolerance needs to be for everyone. I mean, not just Christians. You cannot be cramming your Bibles down people's throats. It does not work. I mean, I've been there. I've done that. It does not work. We show love. We show tolerance. We do not accept, though. We do not accept the sin that is in people's lives. Justin, I just want to thank you for the call real quick. So, anyways, what I'm saying is that we are going to, we need to not accept people for who they are, because a lot of times they aren't, the sin is overshadowing their true identity. And I'll say, and I'm not just talking about gay people. I'm talking about the adulterers. I'm talking about the liars. I'm talking about the prideful. All of these
politicians, in other words.
Yep.
All those. That was a good setup there.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that there are just people. I mean, we can tolerate them, and we have to understand. I think with tolerance, you have grace. You give people grace. Okay, you are gay. I will give you grace. I will give you tolerance, and I will not accept your lifestyle, because we'll go back to what it says. Acceptance, it means to be regard as proper, usual, right, to regard as true or believe in. And I don't believe in homosexuality. I don't believe that it is proper, usual, or right. But I will tolerate you. I won't get in your way or interfere with your lifestyle. I think whatever you do behind closed doors, that is your own, that's your own right, But to say, oh, well, I am offended and this and that. I mean, I will just say this, that there is somebody, and I'm looking it up right here. A&E. There was a guy. He said, where was it? I'm trying to find it real quick. It was just really something that A&E just they folded, and I'm just, here it is right here. Here it is. GLAAD spokesperson Wilson Cruz, and I just want you to listen to this and really hear and feel the bitterness and the hatred. And I mean, this guy is really filled with some bad stuff here. It says, Phil, and this is Wilson Cruz, a GLAAD spokesperson. It says, Phil and his family claim to be Christian, but Phil's lies about an entire community fly in the face of what true Christians believe. He clearly knows nothing about gay people or the majority of Louisianans and Americans who support legal recognition for loving and committed gay and lesbian couples. Phil's decision to push vile and extreme stereotypes is a stain on A&E and his sponsors, who now need to re-examine their ties to someone with such public disdain for LGBT people and families. So I just read the quote. I don't know if you've read his quotes, but there are, I'll read it again, It says, he said, this is Phil Robertson, Duck Dynasty commander. He said, start with homosexual behavior and just morph out from there. Bestiality, sleeping around with this woman and that woman and that woman and those men. Don't be deceived. Neither the adulterers, the idolaters, the male prostitutes, the homosexual offenders, the greedy, the drunkards, the slanderers, and the swindlers, they won't inherit the kingdom of God. Don't deceive yourself. It's not right. Okay, now tell me, where was the vile? Where was the disdain? Where was the nastiness? It wasn't there, okay? He wasn't going after a specific person. He was just saying what he believes in. And if you are going to filter him, if you are going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not filter, but if you have to give him his right to say what he believes in. You might not agree with it, you might not accept it as truth, but you tolerate it. And so I'm just saying, as we're going to go on, and we might talk about this later, we'll see how much more it gets, because it's really picking up steam, guys. But I do want to keep going into this, but I'm running a little late on time. And hopefully you guys will stop by the Facebook page. It's right in the back there. www.facebook.com/Let's Talk with Jason B. And let me know what you think, because I know there are a lot of opinions out there, and I know a lot of people are interested to speak their minds, and that's what we want to do here at Flint Talk, is give the local community a chance to say what they believe in, a chance to express their knowledge and their commitments and their beliefs and morals and blah 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 blah. And so I certainly encourage all of you to put this number into your speed dial, 1-810-208-1854. And because I want to hear from you, and there's other people that want to hear from you too. So until next week, everybody, please behave yourselves. Don't get into too much trouble. And I want you to have a good Christmas. Christmas is coming up, so have a good one, and don't eat too much fruitcake. Don't drink too much eggnog. Hope your presents turn out great. There you go. Don't forget. Bye-bye.